Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in and to Embrace Your Curiosity. I'm your host, Claudia. Welcome back to the show. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that can completely change your dating life. It does not only have to apply to your dating life, it can apply to all your relationship in your life, your family, your friends, your siblings, yourself, which is the most important thing I will highlight in this conversation. Today, we're going to talk about setting standards and boundaries and actually understand what that means. I'm also going to give you the definition before I go in completely, what standards mean and boundaries mean. And we're going to dive into it a little bit more. A lot of people actually talk about what it's like to know your worth, and but few actually understand what the practice look like and actually applying it to your day-to-day life. Okay, and are the foundation of healthy relationship. They help attract the right energy and protect your peace at the same time. So we know what that means, right? And we don't actually, a lot of us, majority of us, do not hold those standards and hold those boundaries and actually intentionally applying it to our day-to-day life. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna break it down so you can recognize the difference. Let's break them down so you can recognize the difference and start applying both intentionally into your everyday life. The definition of standards are the personal expectation and values that guide you, that guide how you want to be treated and what kind of relationship you desire. They reflect your self-worth, what you believe you deserve in love and partnership. Standards set the tone for effort, respect, and communication in dating. They're not about being picky, about being intentional with who you allow into your space. They help you recognize when someone's actions align or clash with your values. Having standards keep you from settling for less than. So we're going to talk a little bit about this, and we're going to go to details really quickly because this video is not going to be long. Okay. So now that we understand that standards are the personal expectation and values that guide you how you want to be treated and what kind of relationship you desire. Again, so we're gonna focus on a dating life on this video, okay? And then maybe another time I'll do another video that we can apply standards in our everyday life. When you are dating, you set those standards for yourself. And it again is to protect you, right? It's kind of to protect you from yourself. And I know that while we're in a dating scene, we want to find love. We want someone that is true and authentic, someone that is for us, someone that will show up for us and that will prioritize us, right? But it starts with prioritizing yourself first, and that means prioritize what you value and what you expect. To write them down, right? Write them down so when you meet, have a list. And I know it can be a lot, but have a list of everything you want. I did hear like have a list of everything you want, become all those things, and then find someone that can be those things as well too. That is true, but if you are there are a lot of people that are dating, they don't believe in actually working on themselves before they actually go into a relationship. I used to be one of those down believers. I do believe fix yourself first before you find someone. But life is one thing I've started to change a little bit more in the way that I think is that life is a journey, right? You can find people and learn and grow with that person while learning yourself. The best way to learn, not the best way, but another way to learn part of yourself is having someone mirror that back to you. And when I say that, like being in a relationship will show you so much of your insecurity. It will teach you things about yourself that you've never learned before. So that's why it's important that you know what your standards are for you, what your values and your expectations are, and what you are not willing to break and what you are not willing to negotiate. And it's very important that you set that and you let the other person know that as well too. I find out that I was an avoidant. I didn't honestly I I would say I didn't know that I was that much of an avoidant. I knew part of me was, if that makes sense. It's easy for me to just, it depends on the situation. So when it comes to certain situation, it's easy for me to just walk away and let it be and just never talk to you ever again and not having to explain my side of the story because I don't care that much for it. It depends on a relationship. It depends on the situationship, okay? But if I care about you and I'm dating and I'm meeting new people, one thing that I'm starting to learn more and more is to be very upfront about what I want. And if the person that I'm dating and I'm interested in and that's pursuing me is not on the same page as me, is not aligned with me, then those standards are there for me to realize that we are not on the same page. So it may not be the best match. And then it's best for me to keep going. But it's also for me to be as honest with myself and with the person, right? So standards are just not, they're not just for you. It's also for you to protect it's mainly for you, of course, but it's also for you to protect yourself and protect the other person as well, even though if they don't see it that way, but it's a mutual thing. We're not on the same page. We can understand we're not on the same page. Now, it's either we move on or we stick around and get the worst out of each other. But I think it's best for you to set those things and let the other person know so that you can walk away in peace. Okay? The other bullet is that standards reflect your self-worth, what you believe you deserve in love and partnership. Okay. I can understand and see that. Yes, standards are there for you, that it reflects your self-worth, which is so important. Even now, I'm just like getting a light ding, ding, ding coming into my head. That is so true. You show how much you value yourself when you hold that standards and you don't bend it for anyone, regardless of the sad story that they share with you. Don't bend it. You will regret it. It's a lesson to be learned, okay? Letting them know that this is the decision I make and this is what it's going to hold. It's not an ultimatum for them to want you, because it may seem a little selfish and it may seem like you're giving someone an ultimatum. It's either they pick that, they pick you, or they pick that. It's not that at all. You just want to make it very clear that this is not what you're expecting. And this is not what you're willing to tolerate. This is what you're not willing to tolerate. And if we cannot work on that, or if you are not that, then I don't need to participate in this anymore, right? It reflects your self-worth. It reflects what you think of yourself, right? The other bullet is standards set the tone for effort, respect, and communication in dating. I'm going to let this sit right here. Standards set the tone for effort, respect, and communication in dating. So remember when I was saying, like, I realized that I was a little bit avoidant? Yeah, when it comes to, like, okay, so this is, for example, and I can share this. This is not too personal, but I do remember, like, if I'm communicating with someone and I get to a point where, okay, so obviously, like, I'm not in it anymore. And it's not only I'm not in it because I'm not interested. I'll tell you if I'm not interested anymore, but more like I keep explaining to you what I need in order for this relationship to grow, and you're not making the effort. You do have about 3 try. It should be 2, but 3. I'm gracefully giving you 3. 3 try. The first time I speak to you, you say, okay, you'll try. Second time, you're telling me, oh, you try to. Sometimes, people reverse that back into you, and that's okay. It gives you time for you to look at yourself as well too, but okay. And then the third time, that's your last warning, and you will never hear from me again. I'm not even gonna give you a heads up. I'm out. You can contact me as much as you want, but I'm out. For myself, I'm out. To protect me, I'm out, okay? So it set the tone and effort, what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept. And that's when you need to understand, if you allow just about anything and everything to flow through, then you're gonna get everything and anything from anyone and everyone. Now that we know that you're not being picky by setting your standards, but you're being intentional about who you allow into your space, about who you let have access to you. That's how you have to think and view it. You have to see yourself as a special being. Not everyone gets to have access to you. Not after you work so hard on yourself. You work hard on yourself. You work hard on keeping your boundaries and putting those things into your everyday life. So why would you allow everyone to have access to that special part of you? Do not give everyone your energy. They don't deserve it, okay? Like, it's okay to, I'm not saying don't be kind and be rude and be, no. I'm saying, like, again, in a dating aspect, everyone does not deserve to be in your space, to have access to you, to think that you're an easy thing to get access to. And especially in this dating time. Oh my God. But yes. So it's not you. Don't see as yourself being difficult. And if anyone say that you're being difficult, is because it's those type of people who truly think that they should have access to you. And when you hold that, you show them your self-worth. You show them the reality of what it's like to actually have standards and boundaries. And those are the same people who are calling you difficult. Sometimes they can't even see their self-worth. So it's not, it's also a learning, a lesson to learn as well too for them, is that they can see when you are serious about holding down the fort, you saying no. I say no, and no is no, nothing else. I'm saying this is what I want. This is, and if you can't do it, you can't meet it. There go the door. There's the door. I was gonna curse the Chanel movie. There's the door. There's the door. Okay. And if you find it so difficult to be around and by, like, you don't have to be here. I'm not holding your feet. Okay? All right. So, it's for you to, it's for you to recognize that when your action in your words is not matching and is not aligned with the other person's action and words, then that means you can no longer participate in it, okay? And it's a lot to protect your mental health as well too, because as you can tell, when there are things that are so emotionally invested, you see how it turned out to be. It's not easy letting go of something. That's why standard is also there to protect you before you go any further. Once you get emotionally invested, and there are people that are out there that's very manipulative in that way, they want you to invest that much time and that much energy and be emotionally invested, and only to end up not giving you what you give them. And then now it's hard for you to leave. And you have men that do walk out with that intention, by the way. I do want to make it very clear, like, people are out there and their intention is to have you emotionally invested. And once you are emotionally invested, it is harder for you to leave a situation. Okay? So having standards keep you from settling for less, and it's a mutual respect for you and the other person. Mutual respect for you and the other person, and to understand that. But mostly it is there for you to protect you from yourself.